Hi, I'm Michael Jessup, and this is a video that I made earlier on this year. I'm not going to talk much about the video itself, but what I am going to talk about is what I did with it. I entered this video into the Foundation for Environmental Education's Young Reporters for the Environment Littlest competition. This video, called The Issue of Marine Litter, won first place in New Zealand, and as a result I won a trip to the Young Reporters for the Environment Littlest workshop in Cyprus. In this video, I'm going to talk about what we did there. So, on the afternoon of Tuesday 23rd of September, I showed up at the airport. This is where I met the other winners for the first time. So then we got on a plane from Auckland to Melbourne, then Melbourne to Dubai, then Dubai to Larnaca. And then from Larnaca we had a van ride to the city of Nicosia, and we arrived at our home for the next 6 days, the Centrum Hotel. We checked in on the afternoon of the Wednesday, and the workshop started at 6 o'clock on the Thursday, so we basically had a day and a half to wander around Nicosia. The workshop officially started with a tour of Nicosia, led by Michael, the organizer. He took us on a night tour of Nicosia, so we knew a little bit about the history of the city we were staying in. After that, we went back to the hotel restaurant, had dinner, and then had some icebreaker activities where we got to know everyone better. Then we went off to bed, and that was it for day 1. Day 2 started with a trip to the Sita Amphitheatre to listen to presentations. We heard from the Cyprus municipalities, talking about waste in Cyprus and what they were doing about it. Green Dot Cyprus, which is a system of product packaging and waste minimisation. We also heard a presentation about marine litter. The next round of presentations was more tailored to us, young reporters for the environment. We had 3 speakers talking about writing an article, taking a photo, and making a video. These presentations were great in terms of helping us to further our reporting skills, the reason we went to Cyprus in the first place. In the afternoon we went to A&T News Station and got a taste of what a career as a news reporter would be like. After that we went to the European Union House to plan the next day of excursions. The deal was that tomorrow we had to produce either an article, photo or video depending on what our strength was. That evening it was cultural night. The different countries brought some of their culture to share with us. From New Zealand we bought L&P chocolate and pineapple lumps. Then each culture treated us to some traditional performance. There were lots of different songs and dances and plenty of traditional clothing. For us, we did a traditional Maori song and a haka, which all the other countries loved. Our first stop on the Saturday was Kachati Dump. This was one of Cyprus's older landfills and was rather horrible. Rubbish everywhere, stretching almost to the horizon in some directions. It really put into perspective for us how big the problem was that we were dealing with. Our next stop was another landfill, this time the complete opposite. This Koshi landfill was Cyprus's newest landfill and featured the latest methods of waste sorting and recycling. It was a massive improvement on the Kachati dump. We then took a trip to the Lea Petri River to give us the chance to film litter in the natural environment. The footage and stills that we took were concerning and were very powerful images for the photographers and videographers to use. After lunch we went to Agia Thekla Beach and did a litter count. It was great to be introduced to a very precise way of measuring the cleanliness of the beach. After that we travelled to Fig Tree Beach and did some long-awaited swimming. Then it was back to the hotel for dinner, a talent quest, and then some sleep. On Sunday, we had the chance to see some of the World Heritage sites that Cyprus boasts. Our first stop was the Kirikatia Heritage Site, where there were remains from a Neolithic Cyprian settlement from around 7000 BC. There were some huts that had been reconstructed as authentically as possible, so that we could see what the houses would have been like when they were built. Next stop was the Kourian Heritage Site. Here we saw some wonderfully preserved mosaics, as well as a fully restored Greco-Roman theatre. Then it was lunch, then off to another beach for some swimming. For the last evening of the conference we had a look at the articles, photos and videos that we had produced, and after that we were given a taste of Cyprus culture with some traditional Cyprian dancing. And that was it for the 2014 Young Reporters for the Environment International Workshop. It was a great opportunity, an amazing experience. It was great to further our reporting skills and get to know the other young reporters from around the globe in the beautiful setting of Nicosia, Cyprus. I know that the friendships that we formed in that week will last well beyond the conference. I'd like to say a big thank you to all that made the trip possible, organisations like Wrigley's, CETA, CIMEPA, FEE and YRE. I'd also like to encourage all you young reporters for the environment out there, enter this competition, because the prize is awesome.